He made many gifts to this film, but that was his central achievement, I think, to construct a story full of the darkest, most uncompromising, most interesting elements, and somehow we all worked to craft a story with, immediacy and excitement, a chase, a quest, and those three central pillars that we did it. The plan, even under pressure, he takes the time to check the times of the subway, check his watch. He's a run for a train now. But he has half the Berlin Police Department on his tail. Action to be back, not with effects, just a chase. A brutal, simple, energetic chase. Run, he never ran in the first film, but he runs in this one, and I love it. Where the film take wings. You're with him and you wonder what his choices are. But of course, the train's not gone yet and the police are on the platform at their end. So what's he going to do? And then, again, that noose is tightening ever tighter. Last break, but he's worked it out. Stop them following. Give 30 seconds. Onto the other platform. Bridge. Oh, hurt. Over the bridge. Oh, that must have hurt. He's on the barge. To blindside them, because as the barge moves, the bridge, he's got to get back under cover. His leg. But that plan depends on timing and organization. James Bond, he produced some stupendous device that would enable him to fly out of trouble, but Jason Bourne, it's a boat hook. Look, the guy on his left. Jason Bourne jumps out of the rafters of that bridge. The supporting artists in Berlin was superb, I thought. It was a very film-friendly city. Big film like Bourne Supremacy to a city, you need cooperation because things change and you need to change locations often quite late in the day, and you need to close streets and cause disruption and set gigantic lights. And Berlin is a place to film. They have a passion for movies there. They love having movies in the city. It's an interesting place. A place where the future is being made. It's not safe and suburban. It's a great moment, I think, when Bourne emerges to confront Abbott. Going to cry for help, huh? Makes the scene concrete somehow. Yes, a thriller, because the story's been going long enough that you're wanting some answers, and you're going to have to give them answers. The story is beginning to tie up, but yet you have to feel that you've got a last act that your audience is going to want to engage in. They're not just going to feel tired and feel like, okay, well, it's done now, I've seen enough. Dilemmas were how to navigate the tricky swamplands before the beginning of the final act. To pay characters and storylines off sufficiently that you feel satisfied, but you've got to keep your pace up. The reasons why we were able to pick our way through this tricky territory was because of the quality of Brian and Joan, that we wanted to know, I think, what was going to happen to those two characters. I think the end, when it comes, is shocking. Come back to Bourne. What we've made in his character comes to the fore, because I think we're now starting to feel that this is no longer a journey of revenge, but it's a quest for something more mysterious, perhaps larger, more noble. Build all the pieces so that when you hit your third act, you feel a surge of new energy and a real anticipation that there's yet one more chapter in the story to go, and perhaps the best of all. To have Frank Marshall, my producer. My world was the world of small films, independent films, small little European things that could be made for the cost of the catering budget on the Bourne Supremacy. and there was Frank with all that experience of all those wonderful films he's made. And when I got a little despairing at how we were going to navigate into this final act, and Frank was always there, concrete ideas as to how it would go, and wisdom and inspiration. The nightclub that becomes a daylight scene. The Bourne franchise, I think, is that people speak in the languages they speak in. You know, it's in Russia, so people speak Russian, and this shot tells you we've entered the final act. Music cue. John Powell's score in this film is quite magnificent. It's insistent and forceful and yet lyrical, full of the restless, questing, troubled soul that is Jason Bourne. Figure too that is Bourne's, I suppose, his yearning for the light, his you arrive. We shot in the whole film. We went to Moscow. It was a bitterly cold day, and I wanted Moscow, which is a city I know very well. I've filmed there before, documentaries at the beginning of the 90s. I wanted it to be the Moscow that I know, not the Moscow of the Cold War, but the new Moscow, which is an exhilarating, exuberant, conflicted but exciting city, rather like Berlin actually. Again, a city with a dark past but making a brighter future, and again a great place to play out Bourne's final act. There are, but they're grappling with the anarchy and the Klondike culture of modern Russia. Creative place. Magnificent sense of architecture. Choreographed the elements so that we would produce our final climax. Bourne gets closer and closer to the purpose of his journey. We don't yet know what it is. We find out in Berlin, though you'd never know it. We actually shot this street in Berlin. There are sections of Berlin that are almost indistinguishable from Moscow. It was in Moscow, but this small piece was not. Has a noble purpose. He's looking for the daughter of the Neskis that he killed. As we might think that Bourne has come to Moscow for revenge, but at this moment we know he hasn't. He's come in search of redemption. And Gretkov, authorities, common cause to prevent him. And we want him to succeed. So we want to up the ante for Bourne. Let's give him some more difficulty. Let's start to unfold again in the present tense, to become fluid, to become purely kinetic. When story and plot, narrative, character get left behind, and it's somewhere just an elemental engagement. So, we're in the hunted. Feel ourselves with Bourne. Desperately tries to escape. Socks. He needs a bottle of vodka, though we don't know why. Got there. Our clothes are very important in this film. Diana Collin, who designed the wardrobe and worked magnificently well with Dominic Watkins, the designer, to create a contemporary look for this film. Stripped back into one costume, the black coat. Top that Kirill's wearing just gives it a hint of modernity. Play on a coat. It's part of the film. Know that we're going to get the chase. Design was unobtrusive and yet impeccable. It gave the whole film a sense of modernity, I think. Classicness. Our chase was the biggest set piece of the film, and I was very lucky. I had Dan Bradley as second unit director, whose chase in many ways this is. And I think, saw the world the same way. I think we had a liking for the real, the immediate, the kinetic. I wanted the chase to be...
Let me gonna see let's we have to continue the final part.